The Power of Silence, Becoming a New Person. Chapter 1, The Sound of Silence, Understanding Its Power. In a world dominated by noise, where the clamor of daily life often drowns out our inner voices, silence can seem like an elusive concept. Yet silence is more than just the absence of sound. It is a profound and powerful force that has the ability to transform our lives. Throughout history, silence has been revered as a source of strength, clarity, and wisdom. It is in silence that we find the space to reflect, to connect with our deeper selves, and to harness the strength needed to navigate the complexities of life. The reverence of silence across cultures. Silence holds a significant place in many cultural and philosophical traditions. In ancient China, the Taoist philosophy of Lao Tzu emphasizes the power of silence. Lao Tzu taught that silence is not only a source of strength, but also a means to attain wisdom. He believed that by embracing silence, we can align ourselves with the natural flow of life, cultivating a sense of inner peace and understanding. As he famously stated, silence is a source of great strength. Similarly, in the teachings of Buddhism, silence is a fundamental practice on the path to enlightenment. The Buddha himself attained enlightenment through deep meditation, which is a practice rooted in silence. In Buddhist tradition, silence is seen as a way to quiet the mind, allowing one to observe thoughts and feelings without attachment or judgment. This practice of mindful silence leads to greater self-awareness and spiritual growth. In the Christian tradition, silence is often associated with prayer and contemplation. The practice of silent prayer, such as centering prayer or the silent retreats observed by monastic communities, is considered a way to connect more deeply with God. Mother Teresa, a modern-day saint, once said, "In the silence of the heart, God speaks." This highlights the belief that silence is not merely the absence of noise, but a sacred space where divine communication occurs. Scientific insights into the power of silence. Modern science is beginning to catch up with what ancient wisdom has long known. Silence has profound effects on the human mind and body. Neuroscientific research has shown that silence can promote neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus, which is associated with memory, emotion, and learning. A study conducted by Duke University found that 2 hours of silence per day led to the creation of new cells in this region of the brain, suggesting that silence is not just a passive state, but an active process that contributes to brain health. Moreover, silence has been found to reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with information and stimuli, silence offers a much-needed respite for the nervous system. It allows the body to enter a state of relaxation, reducing blood pressure and heart rate, and promoting overall well-being. Anecdotes of silence as a source of strength. History is replete with stories of individuals who have harnessed the power of silence to achieve great things. One such figure is Mahatma Gandhi, who practiced silence as a way to cultivate inner strength and clarity. Every Monday, Gandhi observed a day of silence, during which he refrained from speaking and focused on introspection and prayer. He believed that this practice allowed him to conserve energy, deepen his resolve, and make more thoughtful decisions. Gandhi's commitment to silence was not merely a personal discipline, but a powerful statement of his values. During India's struggle for independence, Gandhi's silence was a form of non-violent resistance. In refusing to engage in the noise and chaos of political conflict, he demonstrated the power of silence to convey strength and determination. His silence spoke louder than words, inspiring millions to follow his path of peaceful resistance. Another example is the story of Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama, who would later become known as the Buddha, was born into a life of luxury. However, he renounced this life in search of a deeper understanding of human suffering. After years of wandering and seeking wisdom from various teachers, he eventually chose to sit in silence under the Bodhi tree, vowing not to move until he attained enlightenment. It was in this profound silence that Siddhartha achieved the ultimate realization of the nature of existence and became the Buddha. His journey underscores the transformative power of silence in leading to profound inner awakening. Wisdom in silence. The wisdom of silence is not only a concept revered by spiritual leaders and philosophers, but also by thinkers and leaders across various fields. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer regarded silence as the foundation of wisdom, stating, "The more a man has in himself, the less he will require from the outside, and the more he can serve as his own company." Schopenhauer's words remind us that silence is a wellspring of self-sufficiency, allowing us to draw from our internal resources rather than seeking validation or distraction from the external world. In a similar vein, the American writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson emphasized the importance of silence in nurturing the soul. He wrote, "Let us be silent that we may hear the whispers of the gods." For Emerson, silence was not an emptiness to be filled, but a fullness to be embraced. It is in silence that we can tune into the subtle, often overlooked aspects of life, gaining insights and inspiration that are inaccessible in the midst of noise and distraction. Practical exercise, beginning with silence. To truly understand and experience the power of silence, it is essential to incorporate it into our daily lives. One simple yet effective way to start is by practicing daily silent meditation. Begin with just 5 minutes each day, sitting quietly in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, observing each inhale and exhale without trying to control it. As you breathe, notice the thoughts and emotions that arise, but do not engage with them. Simply observe them as they pass by, like clouds drifting across the sky. This practice may seem challenging at first, especially in a world where we are conditioned to seek constant stimulation. However, with regular practice, you will begin to notice the profound effects of silence on your mind and body. This daily practice will serve as the foundation for deeper exploration of silence in the chapters to come, guiding you toward greater self-awareness, inner strength, and clarity. In the journey of life, silence is not an absence but a presence, a powerful force that can lead us to our truest selves. As we embrace the sound of silence, we open ourselves to its transformative power, allowing it to guide us toward a life of greater peace, wisdom, and strength. Chapter 2: Silence as a Tool for Self-Reflection. In the constant hustle and bustle of modern life, finding time for self-reflection can be a challenge. Our days are filled with distractions, responsibilities, and noise that often leave little room for introspection. Yet, self-reflection is essential for personal growth, and silence is the most effective tool we have to facilitate this process. Silence provides the space we need to turn inward, to listen to our inner thoughts, and to understand our emotions. It is through silence that we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and chart a course for meaningful change. The mirror of silence. Self-reflection can be likened to looking into a mirror. Just as a mirror reflects our physical appearance, silence reflects our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, fears, and desires. When we allow ourselves to be silent, we create a space where we can observe our true selves without the distractions of the external world. This reflection is not always easy. It requires courage to face our thoughts and emotions honestly. However, it is only through this honest reflection that we can gain insight into who we truly are and what we need to grow. The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates famously said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Socrates believed that self-reflection was the key to living a meaningful life. By examining our thoughts and actions, we can make conscious choices that align with our values and aspirations. Silence is the first step in this process of self-examination. It allows us to pause, to step back from the noise of daily life, and to observe our inner landscape. The role of silence in enhancing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. It is the ability to recognize and understand our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Without self-awareness, we are like ships without a rudder, drifting aimlessly through life. Silence is a powerful tool for developing self-awareness because it creates the conditions necessary for introspection. Research has shown that silence can significantly enhance self-awareness. Studies in mindfulness and meditation, practices that involve periods of intentional silence, have demonstrated that these practices lead to greater self-awareness and emotional regulation. When we engage in silent reflection, we become more attuned to our inner experiences. We begin to notice patterns in our thoughts and behaviors, identify the sources of our emotions, and recognize the areas of our lives that need attention. For example, a person who practices silent reflection might begin to notice that they often feel anxious in social situations. Through this awareness, they can start to explore the underlying causes of their anxiety, perhaps a fear of judgment or a lack of self-confidence. This awareness is the first step toward addressing and overcoming these challenges. Without the space that silence provides, these insights might remain buried beneath the noise of daily life. Anecdotes of silent self-reflection. Throughout history, many great thinkers, leaders, and spiritual figures have used silence as a tool for self-reflection. One of the most notable examples is Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher. Despite the demands of his role as emperor, Marcus Aurelius made time for silent reflection each day. He kept a personal journal, later published as Meditations, where he recorded his thoughts and reflections. These writings reveal a man deeply engaged in self-examination, striving to live according to his principles and values. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of understanding oneself and living in accordance with nature. He believed that self-reflection was essential for developing virtue and wisdom. His practice of silent reflection allowed him to navigate the challenges of leadership with grace and integrity. Even in the midst of war and political turmoil, Marcus Aurelius found solace and strength in his moments of silence. Another powerful example of the transformative power of silent self-reflection comes from the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's practice of silence, known as mana, was a regular part of his spiritual discipline. Every Monday, Gandhi observed a day of silence, during which he refrained from speaking and focused on introspection and prayer. This practice allowed him to reflect on his actions and intentions, ensuring that they were aligned with his commitment to nonviolence and truth. Gandhi's silent self-reflection was not just a personal exercise, it was a source of strength that guided his leadership in India's struggle for independence. In his autobiography, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, Gandhi wrote about how his practice of silence helped him remain calm and focused during times of crisis. He believed that silence was a way to connect with his inner self and to gain clarity on the path forward. The benefits of silent self-reflection. The benefits of silent self-reflection extend far beyond increased self-awareness. When we take the time to reflect in silence, we gain a deeper understanding of our motivations, strengths, and areas for growth. This understanding empowers us to make intentional changes in our lives, leading to greater fulfillment and success. Silent self-reflection also helps us to develop emotional intelligence. By observing our emotions in a state of silence, we can better understand their origins and how they influence our behavior. This awareness allows us to respond to situations more thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. For example, a person who regularly engages in silent reflection might notice that they often feel frustrated at work. Through reflection, they might realize that this frustration stems from a lack of recognition or a misalignment between their values and their job. With this insight, they can take steps to address the issue, such as seeking feedback or exploring new career opportunities. Moreover, silent self-reflection can lead to greater clarity and decision-making. In silence, we can sift through the noise of conflicting thoughts and emotions, allowing our true priorities to emerge. This clarity enables us to make decisions that are aligned with our goals and values. For instance, someone facing a difficult decision might find that a period of silent reflection helps them to see the situation more clearly, leading to a decision that feels right and true to themselves. Wisdom in silent reflection. The wisdom of silent reflection is a theme that resonates across different cultures and philosophies. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, known for his deep reflections on life, emphasized the importance of introspection in achieving a meaningful existence. He believed that true wisdom comes from within, and that silence is the key to accessing this inner wisdom. Schopenhauer once wrote, "The more a man has in himself, the less he will require from the outside, and the more he can serve as his own company." This quote speaks to the idea that silence and self-reflection can lead to a sense of self-sufficiency and contentment. When we take the time to reflect in silence, we cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves, reducing our dependence on external validation or distractions. Similarly, the American transcendentalist Ralph Waldo Emerson believed that silence was essential for nurturing the soul. In his essay Self-Reliance, Emerson wrote, "Let us be silent, that we may hear the whispers of the gods." For Emerson, silence was not an emptiness but a fullness, a space where we can listen to the deeper truths that guide our lives. Practical exercise, silent journaling. To harness the power of silent self-reflection, one practical exercise is silent journaling. This practice involves setting aside time each day to sit in silence and reflect on your thoughts and feelings, followed by writing down your reflections in a journal. Begin by finding a quiet place where you can sit comfortably without distractions. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to settle into the silence. As you sit in silence, observe the thoughts and emotions that arise. Don't try to control or judge them, simply notice them as they pass through your mind. After 10 to 15 minutes of silent reflection, open your eyes and begin to write in your journal. Write about what came up during your reflection, any thoughts, emotions, or insights that emerged. You might also write about areas of your life that you want to explore more deeply, or changes you want to make. The goal of silent journaling is not to produce perfect writing, but to capture the raw, unfiltered thoughts and feelings that surface in silence. Over time, this practice will help you to develop greater self-awareness and clarity. By regularly engaging in silent reflection and journaling, you can gain deeper insights into yourself and create a more intentional and fulfilling life. Chapter 3: The Strength and Stillness Building Inner Resilience. In a world filled with constant noise, both literal and metaphorical, finding strength and stillness can seem counterintuitive. However, silence and stillness are potent sources of resilience, offering us the mental and emotional fortitude to face life's challenges. In this chapter, we will explore how harnessing the power of silence can help us build inner resilience, maintain composure in difficult situations, and develop an unshakable core of strength. Harnessing the quiet within. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to face setbacks without losing hope or determination. It is often seen as a trait of those who are mentally tough, but resilience is not just about enduring hardships. It is about maintaining a sense of peace and clarity, even in the midst of turmoil. This kind of resilience is cultivated in moments of silence and stillness. Silence offers us a refuge from the external pressures of life. It is in these quiet moments that we can connect with our inner selves, tapping into a wellspring of strength that is not dependent on external circumstances. When we regularly engage in silence, we create space for reflection, allowing us to process our experiences, heal from emotional wounds, and regain our equilibrium. Over time, this practice of stillness builds an inner resilience that enables us to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Gandhi, a leader who faced immense challenges throughout his life, understood that true strength comes from within. His practice of silence, which he observed regularly as part of his spiritual discipline, was a source of inner fortitude that sustained him through the most trying times. Research: the science behind silence and resilience. The connection between silence, mindfulness, and resilience is supported by a growing body of scientific research. Studies on mindfulness and meditation, practices that often involve periods of intentional silence, have shown that these practices can enhance psychological resilience and reduce anxiety. Mindfulness meditation, in particular, has been found to increase the thickness of the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain associated with self-regulation, decision-making, and emotional resilience. One study published in the journal Psychiatry Research found that participants who engaged in an 8-week mindfulness meditation program showed increased gray matter in the hippocampus, an area of the brain involved in memory and emotional regulation. These changes in brain structure were associated with improved emotional resilience, greater ability to manage stress, and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. Another study, conducted by the University of Wisconsin-Madison, examined the effects of mindfulness meditation on resilience in healthcare professionals, a group often exposed to high levels of stress. The study found that those who practiced mindfulness meditation reported significantly lower levels of burnout, greater job satisfaction, and a stronger sense of personal accomplishment. These findings suggest that silence and mindfulness can be powerful tools for building resilience, not just in high-stress professions, but in all areas of life. Anecdotes: Nelson Mandela's silent strength. Few figures exemplify the power of silence and resilience as profoundly as Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years of imprisonment, much of which was spent in solitary confinement, Mandela found strength in silence. Isolated from the outside world, he used this time to reflect, to cultivate his inner strength, and to prepare himself mentally and emotionally for the struggles ahead. Mandela once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." For Mandela, the years of silence and solitude were not just a time of endurance, but a period of profound personal growth. He emerged from prison not broken, but stronger and more determined than ever to fight for justice and equality. Mandela's story is a testament to the resilience that can be cultivated in silence. Despite the harsh conditions and the uncertainty of his future, he used his time in isolation to strengthen his resolve and to maintain his vision for a free and just South Africa. His ability to remain composed and focused during this time of extreme adversity is a powerful example of the strength that can be found in stillness. Wisdom in silence. The wisdom of finding strength in silence is echoed across different cultures and philosophies. The Greek tragedian Euripides once wrote, "Silence is true wisdom's best reply." This quote reflects the idea that silence can be a powerful response to life's challenges, allowing us to access a deeper wisdom that is not always evident in the noise of everyday life. In Zen Buddhism, the practice of zazen, or seated meditation, emphasizes the importance of silence and stillness in cultivating inner peace and resilience. The Zen master Shunryu Suzuki wrote, "In the beginner's mind there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind there are few." This teaching suggests that silence and stillness open us to new possibilities, allowing us to approach life's challenges with a fresh perspective and a calm mind. Similarly, the Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu believed that silence was a source of great strength. In the Tao Te Ching he wrote, "Silence is a source of great strength." Lao Tzu taught that by embracing silence and stillness, we can align ourselves with the natural flow of life, cultivating a sense of inner resilience that allows us to move through the world with grace and ease. Practical exercise: silent meditation for resilience. To help readers harness the power of silence and build inner resilience, this chapter introduces a practical exercise, silent meditation focused on breathing. This practice is designed to help readers develop a sense of inner calm and resilience over time. Silent meditation exercise. Find a quiet space. Choose a quiet place where you can sit comfortably without distractions. You may want to set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes to start. Sit comfortably. Sit in a comfortable position, either on a chair with your feet flat on the ground or on the floor with your legs crossed. Keep your back straight but not tense, and rest your hands on your lap or knees. Focus on your breath. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of the air as it enters and leaves your nostrils. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen with each breath. Embrace the silence. As you focus on your breath, allow yourself to embrace the silence. If thoughts arise, simply observe them without judgment and gently return your focus to your breath. The goal is not to stop thinking, but to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. Practice daily. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of silent meditation each day, gradually increasing the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. Over time, you will notice a growing sense of calm and resilience in your daily life. By incorporating this practice into your routine, you will begin to cultivate the strength that comes from stillness. As you become more attuned to the quiet within, you will find yourself better equipped to handle the challenges of life with composure and resilience. Chapter 4: The Art of Silent Communication. In a world dominated by words, where conversations are often judged by the eloquence of speech and the quickness of response, the power of silence is frequently overlooked. Yet, silence is one of the most potent forms of communication. It is a language in its own right, capable of conveying messages, setting boundaries, and building trust. Mastering the art of silent communication is not only about knowing when to speak, but more importantly, when not to. This chapter explores the various dimensions of silent communication, backed by research, historical anecdotes, and practical exercises. Speaking volumes without words. Nonverbal communication, which includes silence, is a critical aspect of human interaction. It is estimated that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal, with body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice playing significant roles. Silence, when used effectively, can speak louder than words. It can express emotions, convey respect, demonstrate empathy, and even exert power. For instance, a simple pause before responding in a conversation can add weight to the words that follow, making them more impactful. Silence also provides space for reflection, allowing both parties in a conversation to process information and emotions. This pause can create a sense of anticipation, draw attention to what is about to be said, and emphasize its importance. In many cases, silence can also diffuse tension, prevent escalation, and allow for more thoughtful dialogue. It is in these moments of quiet that true understanding often emerges. Research: the science behind silent communication. Numerous studies have explored the power of silence in communication, particularly in the context of negotiation and conflict resolution. One such study, conducted by researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, found that pauses in conversation, moments of silence, can significantly influence the outcome of negotiations. The study revealed that negotiators who used silence strategically were more likely to achieve their desired outcomes. Silence gave them time to think, allowed the other party to reconsider their position, and created an environment where more meaningful exchanges could take place. Another study by psychologists at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands examined the impact of silence in social interactions. The researchers discovered that silence during conversations could either strengthen or weaken relationships, depending on how it was used. For example, silence that followed a hurtful comment was found to increase tension, while silence used to listen attentively or to allow a speaker to gather their thoughts was perceived as supportive and respectful. In conflict resolution, silence has been shown to be an effective tool for de-escalation. According to a study published in the journal Negotiation and Conflict Management Research, silence can help to lower emotional arousal during disputes, making it easier for parties to reach a resolution. By not reacting immediately, individuals can avoid saying something in the heat of the moment that they might later regret. Instead, silence provides the opportunity to respond with greater composure and thoughtfulness. Anecdotes: the silent power of great leaders. Throughout history, great leaders have understood the power of silence in communication. Abraham Lincoln, for instance, was known for his ability to use silence strategically. In one notable example, during a meeting with his cabinet, Lincoln presented a controversial proposal and then remained silent as his advisors debated the issue. His silence created an environment where his cabinet members felt compelled to fill the void, leading to a more thorough discussion. Lincoln's use of silence not only demonstrated his confidence, but also his respect for the opinions of others, ultimately leading to a more informed decision. Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi, a leader renowned for his nonviolent resistance, often employed silence as a means of communication. Gandhi observed a day of silence every week, a practice he believed was essential for maintaining his inner peace and clarity. This silence was not just a personal ritual, but also a powerful statement. By choosing not to speak, Gandhi conveyed his commitment to self-discipline and reflection, qualities that earned him the respect and trust of millions. Even in more contemporary settings, the use of silence continues to be a powerful tool. Consider the pauses in speeches by influential figures like Barack Obama. His deliberate use of silence after making a significant point allowed his words to resonate more deeply with the audience, giving them time to absorb the message fully. This technique not only enhanced the impact of his speeches, but also solidified his reputation as a thoughtful and articulate leader. Wisdom quotes on the art of silence. The wisdom of using silence in communication is echoed in the words of many great thinkers throughout history. Marcus Tullius Cicero, a Roman statesman and philosopher, once said, "Silence is one of the great arts of conversation." This quote underscores the idea that silence is not the absence of communication, but rather a sophisticated tool that, when used wisely, can enhance the quality of dialogue. Mark Twain, the famed American writer, also recognized the power of silence. He remarked, "The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause." Twain's observation highlights how a well-placed silence can often carry more weight than words, creating an impact that lingers long after the conversation is ended. These quotes remind us that silence is not a void to be filled with noise, but a space where meaning can be found and understanding can flourish. Practical exercise: practicing silent communication. To harness the power of silence in your communication, try the following practical exercise. Engage in a conversation with the intention of practicing active listening. Instead of preparing your response while the other person is speaking, focus entirely on what they are saying. Allow them to finish without interrupting, and take a moment of silence before you respond. This pause will give you time to reflect on their words and formulate a thoughtful reply. Additionally, pay attention to your body language during this exercise. Maintain eye contact, nod in acknowledgement, and use facial expressions to convey empathy and understanding. Notice how your silence encourages the other person to open up and share more deeply. As you incorporate this practice into your daily interactions, you will likely find that silence enhances the quality of your communication. It will help you build trust, demonstrate respect, and create a more meaningful connection with others. Over time, you will develop a greater awareness of when to speak and when to remain silent, allowing you to communicate with greater intention and impact. Chapter 5: Embracing Silence in a Noisy World. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, silence has become a rare commodity. We live in a constant barrage of sounds, traffic, notifications, conversations, and media, creating a cacophony that drowns out the subtler, quieter moments of our lives. The noise isn't just external. Our minds are filled with a relentless stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions. Yet, in the midst of this chaos, silence remains an essential refuge, a source of clarity and peace. This chapter delves into the importance of embracing silence in a noisy world and offers practical guidance on how to find and protect these quiet spaces. Finding quiet amidst chaos. The modern world is dominated by noise, not just in the literal sense but also in the metaphorical sense. Constant demands on our attention, pressures of productivity, and the overwhelming influx of information. The challenge is not just about turning down the volume on our external environment, but also learning how to quiet the internal chatter that fills our minds. Silence is more than just the absence of noise, it is a state of being, a space where we can reconnect with ourselves, find clarity, and restore our sense of balance. In a world that constantly demands more work, more communication, more consumption, silence offers less, and in that less, we find more of what truly matters. To embrace silence, we must be intentional about seeking it out, protecting it, and making it a regular part of our lives. Research: the health benefits of silence. Scientific research increasingly supports the idea that silence is vital for our well-being. Studies have shown that silence has profound psychological and physical health benefits, particularly when it involves time spent in nature. One such study conducted by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, found that exposure to natural, quiet environments can significantly reduce stress levels, lower blood pressure, and improve cognitive function. In 2011, a study published in the journal Brain, Structure and Function explored the impact of silence on the brain. The research found that silence can actually lead to the development of new brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus, the area of the brain associated with memory, emotion, and learning. This phenomenon, known as neurogenesis, suggests that silence not only helps to clear the mind, but also promotes brain health and cognitive function. Moreover, silence has been shown to have a restorative effect on our nervous system. Constant noise triggers our body's stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which can lead to long-term health issues such as anxiety, heart disease, and sleep disorders. Silence, on the other hand, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to calm the body and mind, reducing stress and promoting a sense of inner peace. Anecdotes: Thoreau's retreat to Walden Pond. One of the most famous examples of someone seeking silence and solitude as a way of life is Henry David Thoreau. In 1845, Thoreau retreated to Walden Pond, a small body of water outside Concord, Massachusetts, where he lived in a cabin he built himself. Thoreau's experiment in simple living and self-reliance was not just about escaping society, but about finding deeper meaning through silence and solitude. Thoreau spent 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days at Walden Pond, and during this time he embraced the quietude of nature. In his classic work, Walden, he wrote about the profound impact that living in silence had on his thoughts, his creativity, and his understanding of the world. He observed that in silence one could hear the voice of reason, and in solitude one could find the tonic of wildness. Thoreau's retreat to Walden Pond is a powerful reminder of the value of stepping away from the noise of everyday life to reconnect with the natural world, and with ourselves. His experience highlights the idea that silence is not just an escape, but a necessary retreat, a space where we can find clarity, inspiration, and a renewed sense of purpose. Wisdom quotes on silence. The wisdom of silence has been recognized across cultures and through the ages. One such piece of wisdom comes from Deepak Chopra, who said, "In the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you." This quote encapsulates the idea that silence is not just about the absence of noise, but about maintaining an inner calm, regardless of the external circumstances. It's about cultivating a space within ourselves where we can find peace, no matter how chaotic the world around us becomes. Another insightful proverb comes from Germany: "Silence is a fence around wisdom." This proverb suggests that silence acts as a boundary, protecting our thoughts and allowing wisdom to flourish. In silence, we can reflect, process information, and arrive at deeper understandings, unclouded by the distractions and noise that often dominate our attention. These quotes remind us that silence is not a void, but a rich space for growth, understanding, and inner strength. Practical exercise: creating a silent sanctuary. To embrace silence in your life, it's essential to create and protect spaces where you can retreat from the noise and recharge. This could be a specific room in your home, a corner in your garden, or even a spot in a nearby park. The key is to designate a place where silence is sacred, a place where you can go to escape the demands and distractions of everyday life. Start by identifying a space where you feel calm and comfortable. This could be anywhere that resonates with you, whether it's indoors or outdoors. Once you've chosen your sanctuary, make a commitment to visit it regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. During this time, disconnect from all devices and simply sit in silence. Allow your mind to quiet down and focus on your breath, the sounds of nature, or simply the stillness around you. If you live in a particularly noisy environment, you might need to get creative. Consider using noise-canceling headphones or playing ambient sounds that promote relaxation. The goal is to create an environment where you can experience the benefits of silence, even if the world around you is bustling with activity. In addition to creating a silent sanctuary at home, make it a point to seek out quiet spots in nature. Whether it's a park, a forest trail, or a secluded beach, spending time in natural settings can amplify the restorative effects of silence. Nature has a way of quieting the mind and bringing us back to a state of equilibrium. Make these trips a regular part of your routine, using them as opportunities to reset and recharge. Chapter 6: Silence as a Path to Spiritual Growth. Silence is often perceived as a mere absence of sound, but in spiritual practices, it is much more: a profound gateway to self-discovery, inner peace, and a deeper connection with the divine. Across various spiritual traditions, silence has been revered as a sacred practice that nurtures the soul and fosters spiritual growth. This chapter explores the role of silence in spiritual development, offering insights into how it can help individuals connect more deeply with themselves, others, and the divine. The sacredness of silence. Silence has long been considered sacred in spiritual traditions around the world. It is seen not just as an absence of noise but as a presence, an opening to the divine, and a pathway to inner stillness. In silence, the distractions of the external world fade away, allowing us to turn inward and listen to the quiet whispers of our soul. This sacred silence creates a space where we can experience a deep sense of connection with something greater than ourselves, be it God, the universe, or our own inner wisdom. In many spiritual traditions, silence is used as a tool for purification and transformation. It allows individuals to detach from the constant stream of thoughts and emotions that typically dominate their consciousness, making room for a deeper awareness of the present moment. This awareness often leads to a profound sense of peace and clarity, as well as a deeper understanding of one's purpose and place in the world. Research: the use of silence in various spiritual traditions. Silence plays a central role in numerous spiritual traditions, each of which harnesses its power in unique ways to foster spiritual growth. Christian monasticism. In the Christian tradition, silence has been a key practice in monastic life. Monks and nuns in various orders, such as the Trappists, take vows of silence to deepen their spiritual practice. This silence is not just an external quiet, but an inner stillness that allows for contemplation and a closer relationship with God. The practice of centering prayer, a form of silent meditation rooted in Christian mysticism, helps practitioners quiet their minds and open themselves to divine presence. Buddhist meditation. In Buddhism, silence is integral to meditation practices. Techniques such as vipassana or insight meditation involve sitting in silence, observing the breath, and noting the arising and passing away of thoughts without attachment. This practice cultivates mindfulness and awareness, leading to spiritual insight and enlightenment. Silence in meditation allows Buddhists to observe the true nature of reality and develop a deep sense of compassion and wisdom. Sufi practices. Sufism, the mystical branch of Islam, also emphasizes silence as a means to achieve spiritual union with the divine. Sufis often engage in silent dhikr, or remembrance of God, where they repeat sacred phrases internally without speaking. This silent repetition fosters a deep sense of connection with God, allowing the practitioner to transcend the ego and experience divine love. These examples illustrate how silence is not just a practice but a spiritual discipline that fosters a deeper connection with the divine and nurtures the soul. In each tradition, silence serves as a way to still the mind, open the heart, and cultivate a deeper awareness of the sacred. Anecdotes, mystics and the power of silence. Throughout history, many mystics have found profound spiritual insights in silence and solitude. One such figure is Saint John of the Cross, a 16th-century Spanish mystic and poet. Known for his writings on the dark night of the soul, Saint John of the Cross emphasized the importance of silence in the journey toward spiritual union with God. During his imprisonment in a dark, silent cell, he experienced a profound transformation, which he later described as a time of deep communion with the divine. His writings reflect the idea that in the silence of the soul, one can encounter God in the most intimate and transformative way. Another mystic who embraced silence was Rumi, the 13th-century Persian poet and Sufi master. Rumi believed that silence was the language of God, and that through silence one could transcend the limitations of the material world and experience the divine. In his poetry, he often spoke of silence as a sacred space where the soul could hear the voice of the beloved, a metaphor for God. For Rumi, silence was not just a practice, but a state of being that allowed for the deepest form of spiritual connection. These mystics understood that silence is more than just a lack of words. It is a powerful spiritual practice that opens the heart and mind to divine presence. Their experiences demonstrate how silence can lead to profound spiritual insights and a deeper connection with the sacred. Wisdom quotes on silence. Silence has been revered as a spiritual practice across cultures and time periods. The Bible in Psalm chapter 46 verse 10 states, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse underscores the idea that in stillness and silence, one can experience the presence of God more fully. The command to be still suggests that silence is not passive, but an active state of being that invites divine revelation. Rumi, the Sufi mystic, beautifully captured the essence of silence in his quote, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation." This quote highlights the idea that silence is a direct form of communication with the divine, unmediated by the limitations of language. In silence, we can connect with the divine on a deeper level, beyond words and concepts. These quotes remind us that silence is a sacred space where we can encounter the divine and experience spiritual growth. Practical exercise: contemplative practices for spiritual growth. To help readers connect with their spiritual core through silence, this chapter introduces a contemplative practice that can be easily incorporated into daily life: centering prayer. Centering prayer. Centering prayer is a silent form of prayer that has its roots in Christian mysticism. It involves choosing a sacred word, such as peace, love, or God, that symbolizes one's intention to open to the presence of the divine. The practitioner sits in silence, gently repeating the sacred word internally whenever thoughts arise, as a way of returning to a state of inner stillness. Steps for centering prayer. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably and undisturbed for 20 minutes. Choose a sacred word that resonates with you. This word will serve as a focal point for your prayer. Close your eyes and silently introduce the sacred word as a symbol of your intention to open yourself to the divine presence. When thoughts arise, gently return to your sacred word without judgment or frustration. Continue this practice for 20 minutes, allowing yourself to rest in the silence and stillness. By incorporating centering prayer or a similar silent meditation practice into your daily routine, you can cultivate a deeper connection with your spiritual core. Over time, this practice can lead to greater inner peace, clarity, and a profound sense of connection with the divine. Chapter 7: Integrating Silence into Daily Life. In our fast-paced, noise-filled world, silence often seems elusive. Yet, embracing silence as a daily practice can profoundly transform our lives, offering a sanctuary of peace, clarity, and renewal. Integrating silence into various aspects of daily life, from work and relationships to personal growth, can enhance our overall well-being, creativity, and focus. This chapter provides strategies for making silence a daily habit, backed by research, anecdotes, and practical exercises to help you cultivate this powerful practice. Living the silence: the power of a daily practice. Incorporating silence into daily life doesn't necessarily mean retreating to a monastery or taking a vow of silence. Instead, it's about finding moments of stillness in the midst of everyday activities. Whether it's a few minutes of quiet before starting your day, a pause between tasks, or silent reflection before bed, these small pockets of silence can accumulate into a powerful, transformative practice. Silence allows us to disconnect from the constant stream of information and stimuli that bombard us daily. It provides a space where we can step back, reflect, and connect with our inner selves. By making silence a regular part of our routine, we can enhance our ability to focus, make better decisions, and approach life with greater clarity and calm. Research: the long-term benefits of regular silence practice. Scientific studies have increasingly highlighted the benefits of regular silence practice. Neuroscientific research suggests that silence can lead to brain growth, specifically in the hippocampus, the region associated with memory, learning, and emotion regulation. A study published in Brain Structure and Function found that 2 hours of silence could lead to the development of new cells in the hippocampus, enhancing cognitive function and emotional resilience. Silence has also been linked to improved focus and creativity. A study by Psychological Science found that people who took regular breaks of silence showed significant improvements in problem-solving and creativity. Silence allows the brain to reset, promoting a state of relaxed alertness that is conducive to innovative thinking. Moreover, silence has profound effects on mental and physical well-being. Regular periods of silence can reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress. It also enhances mindfulness, helping individuals to become more aware of their thoughts and emotions, leading to better emotional regulation and a more positive outlook on life. Anecdotes: transformative power of silence. Many individuals have transformed their lives by embracing silence as a core practice. One such example is the story of Jane, a successful corporate executive who felt overwhelmed by the demands of her job and the constant noise of her environment. She decided to integrate silence into her daily routine by setting aside 15 minutes each morning for silent meditation. Over time, she noticed significant changes, not only in her work but also in her personal life. She became more focused, less reactive, and more attuned to her own needs and those of others. Silence became her anchor, providing her with the clarity and calmness needed to navigate the complexities of her life. Another example is David, a writer who struggled with creative blocks. He started practicing silence by taking daily walks in a nearby park without any distractions, no phone, no music, just the sounds of nature. These silent walks became a source of inspiration, helping him overcome his creative block and reconnect with his passion for writing. By integrating silence into his life, David found that his creativity flowed more freely, and his work became more authentic and inspired. These stories illustrate how the practice of silence can lead to profound personal transformation. Whether used to enhance focus, boost creativity, or find inner peace, silence offers a powerful tool for personal growth and well-being. Strategies for integrating silence into daily life. Morning silence ritual. Start your day with a few minutes of silence. Before checking your phone or diving into your daily tasks, sit quietly and focus on your breath. This practice sets a calm and focused tone for the rest of the day. Silent commute. If you commute to work, use that time for silent reflection instead of listening to music or podcasts. This can be an excellent opportunity to center yourself before the day's activities. Mindful pauses. Throughout the day, take short breaks to pause and sit in silence. These mindful pauses can help you reset, clear your mind, and approach your tasks with renewed focus. Silent meals. Try eating a meal in silence, focusing on the flavors, textures, and sensations of the food. This practice not only enhances mindfulness, but also helps you appreciate the present moment. Evening reflection. End your day with a few minutes of silence, reflecting on the day's events. This practice can help you process your experiences and promote restful sleep. Silent retreats. Consider attending a silent retreat, even if just for a day. Silent retreats offer a structured environment to deepen your practice and experience the transformative power of extended silence. Nature walks. Spend time in nature without any distractions. The natural world is inherently quiet, and walking in silence can help you connect more deeply with yourself and the environment. Wisdom quotes on silence. Rumi, the 13th century Persian poet and Sufi mystic, beautifully encapsulated the essence of silence with his quote, "Let silence take you to the core of life." This quote suggests that silence is not just an absence of noise, but a journey inward, toward the essence of our being. It is in silence that we can connect with our deepest selves and discover the true meaning of life. Another powerful quote by Rumi is, "There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen." This reminds us that silence is a form of communication, a way to listen to the subtle inner voice that guides us. By embracing silence, we can hear this voice more clearly, allowing it to lead us toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. Practical exercise, the 30-day silence challenge. To help you integrate silence into your daily life, consider taking on a 30-day silence challenge. This challenge gradually increases your practice of silence, helping you build a habit that can transform your life. Day 1 to 7, morning silence. Start with 5 minutes of silent meditation or reflection each morning. Day 8 to 14, mindful pauses. Add 3 2-minute silent pauses throughout your day. Day 15 to 21, silent meals. Eat one meal in silence each day, focusing on the experience. Day 22 to 28, nature walks. Take a daily 10-minute walk in nature without distractions. Day 29 to 30, full integration. Combine all the practices into a single day: morning silence, mindful pauses, a silent meal, and a nature walk. Checklist and journal prompts. As you embark on this challenge, use the following checklist to track your progress. Morning silence completed. Mindful pauses taken. Silent meal enjoyed. Nature walk experienced. Journal prompts. How did practicing silence affect your mood and focus today? What insights or reflections emerged during your silent moments? How has your perception of silence changed since starting the challenge? What benefits have you noticed in your daily life from integrating silence? By the end of the 30 days, you may find that silence has become a cherished part of your routine, offering a wellspring of peace, clarity, and insight that enriches every aspect of your life. Integrating silence into daily life is not just about finding moments of quiet in a noisy world. It's about cultivating an inner sanctuary of peace and clarity that you can carry with you throughout the day. By making silence a regular practice, you can enhance your focus, creativity, and overall well-being, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Embrace the power of silence and let it guide you to the core of your being, where true wisdom and peace reside.